here, 2v2, Medean Cliff Mines, blue team. First up we have Torpid plays a Chaos Sorcerer offensive and Destructive Commander starts in melee combat, has some great manipulation and crowd control. Alongside, on the blue team, is Soul Drinkers as a Plague Champion starts out range combat with his damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, some good versatility to build turrets and repair, but is slow. Red team, Nyriss is a Force Commander, some great offense but is versatile, can tank, disrupt and support with buffs, fights in melee combat. And rounding us off is Djimbo as a Ravener Alpha, tunneling commander with great mobility, some good offense too, begins in ranged combat. Classic Medean then, north is natural for red, south natural for blue, and contested victory point in mid Torpid with double Heretic CSM in between Soul Drinkers with the CSM squad. Maybe double CSM, maybe into Havocs, Nice Marines, Raptors, we will see. Nyriss with some tactical Marines, and Djimbo with the classic double Termagants open, and he's gone for some Spore Mines. Spore Mines cannot use tunnels, so they're going to need to float their way out there. Nyriss pushing against the south, but Torpid has spotted it and will defend his victory point, I think. Where's his other Heretic squad? They are capping a bunch of Termagants dying already to Chaos Space Marine and Plague Champion fire. Here come the Spore Mines. Are they going to move in? They really want to catch the Heretics. These guys are worshipping Nurgle, which increases the health regeneration of the Plague Champion's infantry and the Plague Champion himself. Here come those Spore Mines, and Heretics get the heck out of there, because those things will wipe a level 1 Heretic squad without an aspiring champion in 2 detonations. 496, 499. Just Space Marine just forcing off the Termagant Brood with some melee combat, and the Raven Alpha now turning his thoughts to the Plague Champion himself with some melee attacks. Doesn't want him firing that damage over time bolter of his, uses the detonation to suppress the CSM and can retreat his Raveners. What's these Ravener Alpha, I should say. What's going on here? Force Commander being chased by Heretics. Can they catch him? They can. Down he goes. Tactical Marines also in retreat, but they do not lose a model. Should be able to revive the Force Commander over there. The Ravener Alpha built a tunnel, and they'll get there in seconds. Nyriss with a devastating Marine squad on the way, so we might see Raptors from Torpid. In fact, no, he won't. Or not quite yet. In a way, he has Havocs on the field. Gonna take up place behind this heavy cover. There we go. Plague Champion now capping up the mid in its entirety. Havocs for him also with a heavy bolter. By default, they will suppress infantry very quickly from all ranges within their firing arc. Now some pressure on this power. Scouts with shotguns up are trying to flank around, not sure what they plan to do once they get there. They don't have a sergeant for a grenade and no sign of one on the way. Nice Marines now for Soul Drinkers. There's double Termagants. Well, not like that. We do have a Warrior Brood up. Must be in a tunnel somewhere. A tunnel up from Djimbo to support Nyriss on that side. He might try and help out with this push to try and then revive the Force Commander. Havocs have pushed forward quite a lot here, making them even easier to flank, and this is the entire army of Red Team flanking here. Devastators are there, Tactical Marines are there, Scouts are going to double back and cap. Warrior Brood is here, double Termagants and Hormagaunts, and Torpid has noticed and comes mid. So we might see a huge 2 versus 2 fight here. Force Commander is back to his feet, but he's going to retreat immediately to get back and heal up. You only revived with about 40% of your health, I believe. Maybe even less than that when a ally revives you in a way. Double gens up for blue team. Noise Marines going for a power harass, and they will make short work of those generators if they're left alone. Lots of manoeuvring for position, but looks like it's going to finally kick off. Bottom note, Torpid backs away, did not want to push in blind. Some Tzeentch worship now, and he will retake his natural in the south. Tzeentch worship infiltrating his units. This Heretic aspiring champion freaking out. Those Marines have made it to the power, and they are now bashing. And look how quickly they take down the generators, but here come Hormagaunts. Those Marines do have a cacophony ability with their Sonic Blaster, which allows them to disrupt nearby units, friends and foes alike, so you need to be careful with their positioning. We might see it here. He's going to go straight into that Tyranid blob and use cacophony. Yes, there it is, nicely done. And he Here come Heretics. They need an aspiring champion to stand up to the Warrior Brood and the Hormagaunts, but he's going to force them off regardless. Force Commander coming in. Assault Marines jumping in, disrupting the Havocs. Force Commander is tying up the CSM with that 40 DPS chainsaw he has by default, which is a pretty mean starting weapon, and forces off Soul Drinker's army. So now Torpid is essentially alone on the field, but I don't think, no, you have Djimbo back at base, so it's not like it's going to be a 2v1 situation here. 1-1-1 build for Nyriss. He has Tactical Marines, Devastators, and Assault Squad. There's the jump. Aspiring Champion Heretics are there. Maybe a Sword of Flame up soon to give them the Coruscating Flame. He has double Heretics really weighing in to those. Assault Marines, a nice grenade. Torpid did not spot it and loses a Marine there. Doesn't have the energy for a shotgun blast these scouts, so they need to retreat. Force Commander is still in there, but he's being suppressed. Did the Assault Squad lose the model? They did. Devastator's also back at base reinforcing. They are destroying a tunnel. 461, 438. Pretty even on VPs in terms of engagements. I think blue team just have the edge. Warrior Brood moving up. These guys are heavy infantry with power melee weapons by default. They also act as a detector and a synapse creature, so very important for a tier 1 army, and always a prime target for your enemy as well. A Ravener tunnel all the way up here. 443, 438. Big commitment to this power harass now by Soul Drinkers, as Noise Marines, Heretics, CSM and Havocs covering everything. Look at the damage from the Noise Marines on those Hormagaunts. They really do pack a punch, these guys. That Sonic Blaster also disabling ranged weapons and some ranged attacks such as grenades and certain abilities, of course. Can he take out this entire power? Raven Alpha weighing in with ranged fire, double termagants with toxin sacks. Decide not to push. Don't think he knows. I think he, yeah, of course he does know the Havocs are there. The Hormagaunts were suppressed by them. Is he going to try and flank? We have some Noble Worship healing up those Chaos Space Marines. 414, 438. And Warrior Brood. They were going to be incredibly hurt. I'm not sure why he was pushing against the Havocs and Noise Marines with Warrior Brood straight up like that. Here come Hormagaunts, I should say, caught by the Havocs and losing tons of health. Those Noise Marines are going mental here. Just hit level 2, and that was a very, very bad engagement for Djimbo. Wanted to defend his power, obviously, but just couldn't find a way around the Havocs, which were nicely used by Soul Drinkers. Let's look at bottom though. Aspiring Champion Heretics moving in. Devastators are suppressed, so they are unable to fire, but a nice grenade again by Nyriss. Wow, killed about 5 Heretics and a CSM model. Now Tactical Marines versus Havocs. Havocs will easily suppress them unless the Tax can get into melee before they set up. He's going for it, I think. It's risky. 368, 438. And they are forced off. Force Commander levels to 2, he has no war gear. Assault Squad already have the Sergeant queued up for tier 2. Blood Crusher on the way for Torpid. So we might see a quick Thunder and Lightning upgrade for these guys as well. Maybe a missile launcher for the Tactical Marines, maybe a Lascan or Vengeance rounds for the Devastators. Lots of things a Force Commander can do to a Blood Crusher with a 1-1-1 build. 368, 424, 2-1 cap. Plague Champion trying to outshoot some scouts. They will take the heavy cover, and Plague Champion backs away. So Djimbo has retaken the north, killed a bunch of stuff as well. Havoc's just about getting away, in fact. He has the melee synapse adrenal glands. For his Warrior Brood will give plus 60% health to non-synapse melee creatures such as these Hormagaunts. Also gives them plus 10 melee skill. I wonder if he's going for a Gene Stealer Blade. 368411. Here is the Blood Crusher, a demon with vehicle armor. Some very nice single target DPS to all targets. Very mobile as well. So has some decent abilities, can charge and also roar, scaring away nearby enemies momentarily. But it's not the toughest thing around. 600 hit points, can go down very quickly in Dawn of War 2, but you can support it with worship, of course. Plague Champion worship doesn't do anything extra to the Blood Crusher, unfortunately, unlike Corn worship, which will also increase its speed, and Tzeentch worship, which will also increase its, will also infiltrate it, obviously, which is what Torpid can do. One of the reasons I don't use Blood Crushers that much with my Plague Champion is that the worship doesn't give you anything extra. 363, 411, anything extra to vehicles. Power Fist is up for the Force Command. I'll talk about a hard counter to a Blood Crusher. Caught up by Heretics though, and the Havocs are trying to set up again. There is the Tzeentch worship, and there is Flesh over Steel on the Blood Crusher. It's not going to last long. Venom Brood are also there, but they're not firing. Anyway, it goes down. Force Command are kicking some arse now. Level 2 with that Power Fist, 85 DPS, heavy melee with that Flesh over Steel. Bang, takes down a CSM model as well. Is almost level 3 now. Venom Brood with ranged Synapse for Djimbo. So he's got ranged Synapse and melee Synapse. Ranged Synapse will buff the health and damage of these Termagants, and is going for Gene Stealers. 35% improved range damage and 25% improved health. And as you can see, Synapse does get better as Synapse creatures level up. That also counts for the basic Synapse. So leveling your warriors and keeping them around is important for Tyranids. 361, 411. Of course, one is going to be made to back off there, I think. Devastators are there though, covering the retreat. Heretics caught in it. He still has these other Heretics. There is Sigil of the Rift, transporting the Devastators into serious amount of trouble. Double Heretics there, and a double Doom Blast sets up the kill on retreat. Does it? Assault Marines jumping in. Shotgun Blast, but there is Dark Flames in retreat path. It should finish off the Devastators. Nicely done by Torpid. And unlucky for Nyriss, he spotted these Sigils just too late. Should have retreated instead of setting up, though I think it still transports retreating setup teams if they are unsetting up. I'm not sure. Tried to save them with the Shotgun Blast, a good idea and nicely done, but couldn't quite do it. And Soul Drinkers has Chaos Terminators with an auto cannon. Gene Stealers are up. Nyriss is now behind. He has a decent amount of resources, could get a Dreadnought up. 329, 411, which might not be too bad. Torpid is going tier 3 though. Look at the damage from those Noise Marines. What level are they? On their way to level 3. Raven Alpha with the Acid Splatter, a power weapon that does splash damage. And it's nasty. Reinforced Chitin also. Immunity to weapon knockback. And I did not see what accessory he had. Scouts with a Sergeant, level 3. Tunnels all over the place. Torpid now transitioning to mid, deciding against a power harass. 329, 392, 2-to-1 cat for blue. There are those Terminators with that auto cannon. These guys demoralize nearby enemies with each kill they make, though they won't demoralize the squad that actually lost the model. It's nearby squads. Demoralization decreases the damage you do and increases the damage you take, and since both of their weapon upgrades, the autocannon and the lightning claws, are area of effect weapons, that bonus can rack up very quickly. Gene Stealers will tear apart these Chaos Terminators, by the way. Very powerful power melee squad. When they're under melee Synapse, there's not a lot of things that can deal with them in melee combat in tier 2 especially. Heretics moving in. Will suppress the Gene Stealers with a Doom Blast. Noise Marines also there. And a full retreat from Djimbo. Warriors get away without losing a model though, that's good. We have Chains of Torment up for Torpid. He also has that Sword of Flame. Raven Alpha to see what his accessory is. It is the Synapse Aura for damage. Force Commander has the Teleporter pack, level 3 now. Plague Champion with nothing and he's level 3. Sigil of the Rift, Warp Rift, getting these Venom Brood models way out of their comfort zone, and he takes down 2 models. Can he take down the entire squad? Almost does. Warp such a powerful ability. 329, 337 can do so much with it. Can set up your units into a better position, can get enemy units into a bad position, can get retreat kills with it, get Plague Marines into position for vehicle kills, can do so much. Chaos Terminator is now capping and the power is whacked out. 329, 322, blue team looking pretty good right now, I think. Space Marine Librarian up for Nyriss, already has the Tome of Time. He can buff Genes to the speed with that. Going after the Plague Champion, is going to die here. Or maybe not. Yes. Librarian takes him down with that power melee force sword he begins with. You saw the inspiration there on kill. You can start stacking up inspiration with the Librarian kills and battle cry. Can be quite dangerous though to send your Librarian into melee combat. 329, 286. Terminator is doing well, I think. He's much more cautious now. Djimbo doesn't want to pile in with the area of effect damage from that autocannon. Now has a blast master to deal with on level 3 noise marines as well. Here come the heretics. I've not seen Touch of Nurgle yet from Soul Drinkers. I don't think I've seen any globals from him at all. He's going to lose his heretics there if he's not careful. Rippers causing all sorts of trouble. Gene Stealers wiping out the Havocs. Nicely done. Now retreats out and gets away. Gene Stealer is doing well. Little ambush there. A couple of Kaperi towers up. They now grant 75 XP when you destroy them, so you don't want to spam them. Of course, want to teleport in instantly, countering those Havocs. Heretics are there, I should say, with a Doom Blast to suppress him. Librarian weighing into fire. Tome of Time is, Veil of Time I should say, is up on the tactical marines. They have a sergeant and a plasma gun. Heretics are chasing them. Almost takes down these Havocs. 1 hit point, maybe a plasma pistol shot. Bang, down they go. Nicely done. Crack. Can't take down a CSM model. The Torpid just lost a whole bunch of stuff. A very good engagement for Nyriss. Very aggressive play with his force commander there. A great unclean one on the way though for Torpid. Sorcerer level 4. Being smacked in the face by the Ravener Alpha, who's level 4 also. And that's going to be pretty nasty if he goes into melee combat alongside his Gene Stealers, giving them the damage buff for the Synapse Aura. I believe it's a 35% damage buff, and that would be insane for Gene Stealers. I believe it is. It might be 25. Adrenal Gland Warriors level 2. They are a pretty chunky unit as well. 1811 hit points at level 2. They begin with 1575 when you have their adrenal glands. Not that easy to deal with, so they do draw a lot of fire, and they are heavy infantry, so plasma and power weapons really hurt them. He has double Chaos Terminators now, Soul Drinkers. Is he going to go for double autocannons? Surely he's going to get Lightning Claws. No, he's going double autocannons. I thought he'd go Lightning Claws to fight the Tyranid melee army head on, but I guess not. You could still get Icon of Nurgle, Pestilence and Plague Fist on his Plague Champion, and here is the great unclean one for Torpid. Super unit for Chaos. Over 6,000 hit points of super heavy infantry armor, a greater demon, so you can worship the big fella, and he is nasty. Lots of great nasty abilities, and passively damages nearby enemies as well. Heretics are gonna try and steal this wreck point. Bit of a strange map, Medean, with its wreck points. So you get one very natural wreck point for each team, but the other wreck points are not all that natural. You have these 2 right on the edges, and of course one in the center which is contested. Great and clean one coming to the south, looking after Torpid's victory point. Is Nyriss going to push there? Looks like he's going mid. His Assault Marines level 2. Chaos Predator now for Torpid. There's a Tyranids formation in the middle of Soul Drinkers stuff. I'm not sure that was the best choice, since Chaos Terminators are not going to be too bothered about a Tyranid formation, and he's got double Chaos Terminators there. Will it set up his push? And it will provide a synapse as well. And Nyriss now coming in. These Blastmaster Noise Marines in serious trouble. Assault Marines on them with that Power Sword Sergeant. And Genestealers in retreat path. And look at this, he really should have gone for Lightning Claws on his Terminators. Noise Marines absolutely wiped out. And Havoc's also wiped out. That was an excellent engagement for Red Team. They're really powering back into this. Melter Bomb on the Chaos Predator. Soul Drinkers obviously had no idea two players were coming on him, but should have been a bit more mobile when he saw the nuke go off. Heretics saved by the big ability vomit from the Great Unclean One, and there's Foul Snare on the Force Commander as well. That's a drag, a stun, and a knockover, of course. Big chunk of damage also. Often bugs out though, unfortunately, and doesn't fire. Chaos Predator lives. 298, 204. Sorcerer will try to cap mid. Djimbo with a pretty powerful army. It's level 2 Genestealers with Rending Claws. Gives them melee heavy. I think it's something crazy like 35 melee heavy DPS per model or something nuts. That would be increased, of course, by Adrenal Rush. Venom Brood still around. He has Endless Swarm and the Synapse Leader for his Termagants as well, taking up to 11 models, and they get that Venom Cannon in there. Rippers are around, Soul Drinkers with a very solid ranged base, but nothing to go toe to toe with the Tyranids. And he's gone for Blight Grenades. Really, late game you go for Blight Grenades as Armor of Pestilence. You really should have gone for the icon. Very surprised with that choice. 298183. Blight Grenades are good, don't get me wrong, but much better in tier 1 against level 1 squads, because against Tyranids leveled up with specialized Synapse, it's not going to do a whole lot. He's going for it. Let's see what he does. Watch him wipe the entire army now, I've said that. Tactical Marines decapping bottom. These are level 3. Torpid venturing mid, is he? Nope, he's going to go defend his victory point. Torpid with some Heretics and some Havocs. Assault Terminators hitting the field. There's Flesh over Steel on the Predator tank, and this is a dead Predator tank. Why did he use the teleport there? That was Cloud of Flies, and those Assault Terminators were stunned by the Foul Snare, which is why they didn't attack there. But down goes the Predator. Why did he use the teleport though on the Terminators? Looks like he will get away with it, but that was very risky. 283168. Blue team under some serious pressure. There's a Noxious Cloud on the Termagants, but as you can see, tanking the damage there with the squad leaders, but he is forced off. A nuke is going to miss. Unlucky. Often happens, especially with Imperial Abyss. You use it on a blob just as it's moving away or retreating, and it's completely wasted since it does very little to retreating units. Sorcerer is down. Terminator Assault Squad have Thunder Hammers and Storm Shields, very high heavy melee damage with that inspiration on kill, of course, which will stack with the Librarian's inspiration. He can also support them with the Tome of Time and the Psychic Hood. Awesome at supporting Assault Terminators, and they've gone for the Lightning Claws. So he's going to really go, I think, toe to toe with the enemy Chaos Terminators, and they will rip them to. They could probably take off both squads pretty easily with those Lightning Claws. 267168. Tier 3 Lictor up for Djimbo, and these things are awesome. Heavy melee DPS, a lot of it as well. Also start with Flesh Hook, Leap, and Infiltration. Now, Infiltration does not drain energy from these tier 3 Lictors. Double Chaos Terminators there. Trying to focus down the Genestealers. There is the Blight Grenades, which has forced off the Genestealers. Lictor now going after the Terminator, trying to tie them up so they can't fire those dangerous autocannons. But now it's very, very isolated. And here comes a Great Unclean One. 266168. Both the Terminators teleport away. Turn for some ranged fire. Lictor Alpha retreats and will get away. Okay, what's going on south? Pushed by Nyriss. He will at least decap this. What is he going to do? Torpid against these Lightning Claw Terminators. A Predator tank would usually be the choice, but he's got a teleporting force commander to deal with, so that's not perhaps going to pay off for him. They will do a lot of damage to the Great Unclean One as well. 258, 168 might just be a case of tanking the damage as much as he can with the Great Unclean One and throwing everything he's got at those Assault Terminators. Mark of Pawn CSM trying to take on melee Tyranid is not the best idea. 250, 168 Soul Drinkers, I think, with some misplays in his choices. Should have got some Lightning Claw Terminators, should have got the Icon of Nurgle. But we'll see. 243, 168. Lightning Claw Terminators teleporting in again. Didn't quite need to use their teleport there, I don't think. There's a Melter Bomb on the Great Unclean One. Chaos Space Marines, I should say, getting chased by those Lightning Claw guys, and now they're under a bit of pressure and they can't teleport out. Marcos Inch CSM do a lot of damage to that super heavy infantry armor. Lost half of their hit points there, and the Great Unclean One is still chasing. That's a Warp Rift trying to get them into trouble, and he's trying to dodge it. Not easy to do with big bulky Terminators. Nicely done by Torpid, and these guys are going to go down. That's why you do not use your teleport in such short range offensive use. Chaos Terminators wiped out by that melee blob of Tyranids. Wow, that was nuts. They were just erased. Soul Drinkers needs to respond with something. He's getting some more Chaos Terminators now. 210, 168. He's going for an autocannon again. Has he learnt nothing? Great Unclean One leading the army for blue, but that is a lot of stuff coming towards him now. 202, 168. Also one that teleports in. Uses his battle cry. That will mean a area of effect damage buff every time he does one of those special attacks, but he's forced off now. Bad engagement for red. Wow, blue team just lured them into a trap of damage there. 194, 168. Nyriss has lost a lot. Soul Drinkers doesn't have a lot of units, but he has double Chaos Terminators. And although this Plague Champion doesn't have an Icon of Nurgle, he's still pretty nasty with that Plague Fist, Armor of Pestilence, and those grenades. Tyranids all back at base, healing up and reinforcing. No sign of any monstrous creatures from Djimbo. He has a lot of upkeep, as you'd expect, at the size of his army, especially if you get these warrior leaders for your Termagants and Hormagaunts can really stack up on your upkeep. This is why I generally avoid getting them. 194, 145. Kind of thing I'd buy when I've got everything else I think I'd need. Orbital Bombardment. Global Nuke for Space Marines. Put down by Nyriss. Does he catch anything? Catches a single, no, 2 heretics. Well done. So that wasn't the best. Should have used it, I think, when red team pushed again. Blue team recovered so well. Torpid recovered so well. He was down to like 3 units at one point. The Great Unclean One has done awesome back at base, healing up. Does take a while though, of course, with 6,125 hit points. Double cap for blue. Can they hold on? I think they can, but that is a dangerous blob of Tyranids, and Nyriss now has a Predator tank. Might just focus down by the double Terminators, we will see. What else could he have got though, really? Can't really save for a land grade, I don't think, doesn't have the time. Maybe some plasma cannons up would help. A couple of plasma cannons, you could get a couple of them now. Just save a little bit. Here, if I was Assault Marines jumping in, they don't have their sergeants, and heretics here idle. Tome of Subjugation on the Assault Marines now going after the Predator. They don't actually have the energy to throw their Melter Bomber. I'm sure he would have. Torrent Formation went off. Tyranids wiping out some heretics there, now going after the Terminators. And just look at the damage that they take here. Saved by the Chains of Torment. Nicely set up for a Great Unclean One vomit. Big engagement here. Ranged Tyranid is now weighing in. That Lictor has been idle. Big mistake. Very easy to lose sight of your units in big engagements like this. Now he's moving in. 194.55. Predator tank getting shots on the Great Unclean One. A Lictor can now decap under infiltration. Oh! The Tyranids absolutely disintegrated there by double autocannon fire and some Chaos Sorcerer shenanigans. Dark Flames in retreat path, didn't quite hit it where he wanted to, but that was nasty. Gene Stealers live. Level 3 Gene Stealers live. Just Space Marines for Mark of Corn hitting generators 194.39. Lictor's gonna die. Red team have fallen apart here. Blue team should be able to take this. The Tyranids just so much losses there. Gonna cost so much to reinforce. I don't think he's gonna be able to get those Gene Stealers back out on the field in time. Well, you might be able to. How much is it to reinforce a Gene Stealer? Only 4 power. There you go. Great Unclean One. Steel tanking damage like a boss. Librarian now has the 4-staff, which gives him an improved melee weapon, but also, perhaps more importantly, gives him a much better ranged attack, so you can put him in ranged stance and contribute to engagements a lot better and a lot safer for the Librarian. He's level 3, done well. So 1-to-1, center is uncapped. Double Chaos Terminators with autocannons are surviving the Tyranids so far. One of them didn't survive. He could have triple. He's got so much resources, Soul Drinkers. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. For a super unit, I suppose. Those CSM wiped out. Great Unclean One up against a Force Commander. Some Zinch worship. There's a Melter Bomb. Force Commander will die. Predator tank with that twin link las cannon getting shots, but eats a las cannon shot from the Havocs. There is Cloud of Flies. Great Unclean One looks like he's going to go down though. Down goes the Predator. Down goes the Great Unclean One. These Tyranids do not want to stay there. Really do not want to stay there. This Great Unclean One will explode, doing lots of damage to enemies and healing allies. 159.39. Red team have taken mid. Now both Chaos players floating a lot. Soul Drinkers has enough for a super unit now. Another Tyranids formation, the third one I've seen. Misses absolutely everything, I think. Yes, should have used it on Torpid units instead of Soul Drinkers. 141.39. He's kept his double heretics alive here, Torpid. Both level 4 and level 2. This is actually a different heretic squad in grid. Raven Alpha level 6 alongside his melee army. Can he do anything here? Gene Stealer's taking losses. Mark up corner CSM chasing the Tyranids. What is he doing? Got to turn around. He's going to lose his entire army if he's not careful here. Plague Champion is also there. They do get away. They're just leveled up enough to survive something like that. 121.39. 2-to-1 cap steal by Red. Blue team are not capping mid here. Librarian gets away, does he? Takes a smack from the Plague Fist. 72 DPS heavy melee. It's a great ability though. Pestilent Strike. More Chaos Terminators for Soul Drinkers. Good grief. Torpid might be wanting to get another Great Unclean One.
Chaos has the upper hand.
Termagant Brood capping a wreck point late game. 103.39. Blue team are finally capping mid for a 2-to-1, and he has gone for Lightning Claws on his third Chaos Terminator squad, his 4th overall.
Allies conquer victory points for you.
Awesome. So this Tyranids blob might not survive the next engagement with those guys around. 103.31. Do have a plasma cannon up. Force Commander being annoying. He's level 6, done well, almost level 7. Sorcerer is almost level 8. Marcus Inc. CSM doing that damage. Doom Blast suppressing him. Assault Marines jumping in from range. Not sure what this las cannon is up to, covering this approach in case a Predator tank comes in or something. Sorcerer is taking a lot of damage, but they do jump away and retreat. A good push, allowing these tactical marines to finish the cap there. 102-18, nicely done by Nyriss, but needs to get these guys out of there. Loses a couple of marines. Veil of Time won't actually buff the speed of retreating units, or does it? Those guys are moving very fast. I didn't think you could buff the speed of retreating units. 92-18. Chaos Terminus Lightning Claws scaring off a bunch of Tyranids. That's heretics in retreat. Some very brave Termagants here hanging out. Venom Brood alongside them, giving them that synapse, but I don't think the synapse is extending all the way to this squad. Level 4, 2100 hit points for these Termagants. 22 now. 92-18. And the Tyranids here are gonna wipe if they're not careful. They do retreat out. And there's the 1-to-1 Torpid. He's not capping his natural back. It's covered by this is why. Has another great and clean one though, and they won't be happy to see this red team. 92-18. There's the melter bomb, but it's not going to be enough. 1-to-1 cap. Torpid wants to see off Nyriss' stuff before he caps, and there's Warp Rift again, used to great effect yet again, wiping out the Devastators in seconds with those double heretics nearby, and a whack from the Great and Clean One himself. Force Commander, you cannot take on a greater demon by yourself, fella. Needs to retreat out. There we go. Plasma Gun Tactical Marines, though, doing a lot of damage to the Great and Clean One. Wow, level 4. Tyranids are not giving up mid. He has a Carnifex now, but it's going to die. Doesn't have an upgrade. Double autocannons plus the power fists from those Terminators, and the Plague Champion himself doing well. Plague Champion is now level 8. He'd surely be level 10 though if he had the icon. Librarian coming into mid, trying to cap it. It's not over yet. I thought blue team had this tied up. Torpid has capped his natural, and now it's a 2-to-1, but it's going to be a 1-to-1 once the Librarian decaps. There it is. Blue team should have this though. They should have this. Just force off the Tyranids and cap, or just cap now. Those Terminators taking a lot of damage from the Gene Stealers, but there's the Pestilent Strike, and there's Touch of Nurgle on the CSM. Is it going to go off though? Are they attacking them? I think they are. No, they do retreat out before it detonates. Level 4 CSM. 92-5. Heretics now capping mid. This should be it now for blue team.
They have won us this day.
Nyriss with just 3 units on the field. An awesome game. Red team put blue team under so much pressure. Soul Drinkers with a very strange strategy of just waiting until Terminators are off cooldown and purchasing more constantly. Now Torpid has some Chaos Terminators. There's 4 Chaos Terminator squads on the field, 3 of them with autocannons. Soul Drinkers with a bunch of resources at the end, and there is the victory with a 2-to-1 cap. An awesome game. Djimbo did well initially with these Gene Stealers and Warrior Brood, but did not get a monstrous creature out, which really hurt him. If he had that big line breakers charging around, I think all of these Termagant upgrades just gave him so much upkeep he couldn't get them out. Look how much upkeep he had. Torpid with a great unclean one. Both of them did very well. Thanks for watching guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.